which lane will they prioritize? That is the main question here, that maybe EVOs need to try and consider as well. Engage.
Laps now on the next neutral objective. Level all their resources. That CC was so overwhelming that RRQ, without any purifies, unable to respect that CC, unable to get out of that engage either.
I mean, it was decisive, but it just wasn't. Look at the turn prediction by Mirko, though. What is that supposed to mean, Mirko?
I am not allowed to bless, nor am I allowed to curse. This is a classic derby, okay? I shall not interfere.
Everyone's looking at him as well in the arena. But yes, Arashi, keep going.
I feel like right now RRQ, they gotta win in the setup as well. They've already shown that they have better burst. They do have tools here to really gain success, but especially with that Franco pick, they gotta start off a fight off a hook, man. They can't walk in like that and allow Dreams to be the proactive one. He picked up 2 kills in that fight, and Clockman picked up the rest. Against a Vexana and Tigreal, you gotta be a bit further away, but look at this secret play.
Bloody Hunt cancelled by the shove from Dreams. No implosion yet. An RQ, an Iron Hook over Dreams! Finds an implosion to find them all! And now Brands goes wild in the back, finds a trade. It's roll for roll, but look at the rest of EVOs who are coming back onto him. Skylar with a blinker now, and Lycan Pounce will still be caught in the Eternal Guard and stopped down by Annabelle.
Goosebumps. That instant turnaround, that counter engage coming in from EVOs was brilliant. Amazing implosion by Dreams, being able to buy some time as well, and the follow-up from the rest of the members. The synchronization that EVOs are currently displaying, that is what was so concerning about RRQ with this new lineup.
RRQ, they're trying to be creative and catch EVOs off guard, but EVOs just seem prepared for everything. They told us welcome.
Annabelle with a chomp down onto Vin, throwing him in, and my goodness! Say goodbye to Vin. Brands with his own Nizamon force in the back. Don. Perisic trying to follow up. Don just needs one more shot and finds it onto Clockwood. Clay gonna be melted down by the likes of Brands and Fluffy. In a turtle. It's gonna be Dreams who locks him down, but Perisic somehow is able to steal it away. Now Dreams with a knock up, and Fluffy blows him up with the last insanity.
They got the neutral objective RRQ, but at what cost? They're just throwing bodies at EVOs again and again. It's a better performance with Don denying Clock and taking him out. But they gotta plan further as Dreams makes another play.
Knocks him up, no implosion thus far. Skylar with a Lycan Pounce, but Brands is just going ham. A Bloody Hunter cancel all the dashes, but it's not gonna help Skylar to escape. It will still just be a 1-for-0 as Annabelle looks to go up top. An Iron Hook or Dreams, but now with Annabelle stopping him down. Deaton is welcome, a chomp down, and now it will be Vin again, taken out for the 4th time in this game. Dreams will not even be traded back, and RRQ are on the back foot.
Dreams is popping off here in game number 1, a 2-0-6 so far. And you can already see that he's been helping Brands so well already with the Starlium sight.
And even here, the mid lane turret gets taken out as well. Almost everyone on the side of EVOs, including Dreams, nearing a 1k gold advantage. Clockern with Chet Talisman is just going to be spamming those spells out. So in a big fight, I feel like now RRQ, they have to go for the isolated fights, the real legitimate pickoffs. Even in skirmishes 3v3, 4v4, I don't feel like they have the tools necessary to really come out on top here.
I mean, essentially they still have Clay's diversion, right? It hasn't been utilized too much so far. It feels like they're using the diversion as a response to EVOS' footprints. They're like playing into the tempo of the White Tigers and not vice versa.
Seems like they're just adapting and moving according to what EVOS is doing. Again and again, even with the diversion, they're always one step behind, and EVOS are always the ones already in place, already set up for a neutral objective take or a pickoff again and again. with Vin finding information right here. They're so far behind. I don't know if they still want to go for a fight. 5K gold behind here.
Diversion play into the midst of it all. Vin with a flicker on the bloody hunt, but he's all alone. Now isolated and taken down for the 5th time in this game. RRQ will find nothing with that.
It's looking really bleak for RRQ right now, but Evo's just coming into the jungle uncontested. No one able to stay in the front. Worried about Dreams just catching them with the implosion, and even Clay, the strong mid laner with a lot of damage output, is now zoned away by the potential of just the full-on dive coming in from Evos.
He's falling too far behind. I guess in terms of damage, it's not quite there yet. If I'm not mistaken, he only has one item. I think it was the Enchanted Talisman. But of course, the displacement, the utility that it offers does still help. But the damage is no longer there. That loophole in the early game, it's past. Evo's Glory are already sitting at a 6,000 gold lead in 8 minutes. Talk about snowball.
And their composition doesn't make it any easier for RRQ. An X-Borg that has a second life, a Tigreal that can counter-engage, the jungler that can have a front control immunity. There are very limited options RRQ have right here that if they really want to go for a pick-off. They have to find Brands who's positioning very, very well with a lot of outplay potential, shielding and mobility, or they have to get the Clockun who's in the back. And if they just send everyone to try and send out damage to Clockun, then the backline gets absolutely decimated by the frontliners, the fighters of Evos who are ahead in gold, who will do a lot more damage.
You can even see it in terms of gold, right? Brand's number 1, 7K already. What was the last item? So already has 3 items.
Right. So, man, it's going to be so difficult for RRQ to find anything right here as Evos. Once again, they're just contesting everything and they're still building up for an insane snowball. With Brands getting the Blood Wings as well, he's going to be even more tanky. I don't think even if he gets hooked, his team won't be able to save him.
Oh no, Brand still gets the buff as well.
And that's the big concern right now for RRQ with that Franco pick, right? They all technically have ways. Heck, Brands, the guy we expected to bring Purify, even doesn't even care about the Iron Hook. He knows that the tanky members in the front will be enough to take the Iron Hook, and that's what Fluffy's doing already now, zoning Vin away. It's burning him down, melting him down, and Skylar is in the bottom lane, so they are technically forced to concede. Very sick, no, he's not able to steal it, but he dodges away from the shove. Brands now with the Zaman Force, versing with the top, and now gets brought back by the missiles and chopped down by Annabelle. Fluffy burns him down, and RQ lose their jungler.
Skylar trying to do what he can in the bottom side of the map. He should be able to get that turret.
No way.
He doesn't?
Wait, it's so low. It should be taken out by the cannon minion. It's standing for quite a while there. Wow.
They don't even get that trade.
That turret's for way too long. Take a look at the items here. Fluffy already with the War Axe and the Brute Force Breastplate. He's going to be a lot more mobile and he's going to be doing a lot more damage. And Annabelle is just going to be way too tanky. They cannot pick him off, but maybe.
All the way in the back. Dream! Now the 2 members is going to be Vin. He gets taken down with a killing spree. Picked up for Evos. Be the end 10 minutes in. RQ still trying to defend. Dreams and Annabelle getting very low. Fluffy losing it for Frog Armor. Skylar jumps in with Lycan Pounce, but Fluffy has the immortality. Skylar forced to run away. In the bottom lane, no minute on! With a knockout! Onto Brands, finding one. RRQ chasing Evo's Glory out of their base. But it is still a win for Evos. They've cracked the base open.
A 9,000 gold lead from the White Tigers. A nice shutdown onto Brand, but like you mentioned, the base has been cracked. Luckily for RRQ, it is the mid lane that was cracked. It wasn't those side lanes, and we're coming to the point where both of these teams are going to start going for the next Lord. A diversion play. Where are they going? Are they going? Oh.
Right into Fluffy, but Eternal Guard finds 3. Dreams looking for an angle to go for an implosion, not able to find it as that's going to be the rotation to cut him off. RRQ backing away after that risky gamble of a play with the diversion.
Hail Mary play, it didn't work out.
They're showing that they are still looking for opportunities though. They have not given up. Fortunately, like you mentioned, Eterna, the mid turret was the one taken out. So RRQ, they can still look for something here. They won't be really forced to deal with empowered waves. But the same problem still persists. Right there, I think Evos has overlooked the damage that Clay can provide with the spammable nature of the spells of the Luoyi. But now it's still at a 9K gold lead, more or less. RRQ are still the ones just desperately trying to find something. And Evos aren't really giving them a lot to work with.
Oh no!
Skylar checks the bush. Implosion used up, but he is able to flicker out. Now Vin looking for Brands, who's forced to flicker as well. 2 flickers burnt, both gold laners.
Ooh, great respect for Brands there to immediately use the flicker. I guess he still is very wary of the potential of RRQ to just pull off something crazy. The bottom side is pushing, but Fluffy will be able to deal with that. And here's the problem now, without all these turrets, RRQ are losing a lot of safe zones they can usually use to coordinate, to set up for big plays, especially with big neutral objectives coming up. The Lord up right here. Evos are already grouping together, making sure that they have each other's backs if RRQ does go pick up Ersic as Brands picks up his 4th item, the Holy Crystal, massive power spike.
Massive power spike, and Ersic is 2 levels below. It looks like RRQ still want to commit.
Oh. Find the Dreams again! Finds the illusion onto Ersic, cut down by Brands. Play forced to out Vin with a hunt now onto Brands. They're able to go for the knockout now, and that's going to be one man traded in. Evos, diversion onto the base to get them to safety. Mid lane, coming to crash down. Use base.
They don't have Brands, they have Siege at this point. They should still be able to defend.
Don going for the minion clear, as that's the last insanity. The eternal guard from Clockun will be the last weapon for Evos to take RRQ down in game number 1. Not even the Prince can. 1-0 start to the Classic Derby.
A very convincing win at that. The White Tigers dominated the Kings of Kings in game number 1. And my personal highlight was Dreams. He popped off on the Tigreal. We don't see Tigreal that often anymore in this meta, the way that these patches have been rolling in. But in this particular composition and against the composition of RRQ, it worked out really well. They were banking on the fact that they could go for the pickoffs, and every time they landed an Iron Hook, it was counter-engaged by Dreams, realizing that RRQ's heroes were all very short range. They were able to get the maximum output, the maximum value out of those implosions made by Dream.
We're gonna see some highlights later on from Dreams, but even the positioning, he knows that for the most part, in most situations, RRQ are the ones who are desperate for a fight, desperate for a pickoff. So he just hides in the bush, waits for the right moment, and then immediately turns it around and goes for the counter engage.
Yeah.
We thought that they were going to rely on Clockun to engage, and then, or you know, vice versa. But turns out for Evos, they just saved all the crowd control, all the AoE to ensure that any attempt from RRQ to go for a kill will be absolutely punished, and that game plan worked out perfectly.
And now it's all about just being consistent with it, because they have the momentum. They were able to win out in an all-out skirmish as well in game number 1. It's back to RRQ to try to find a solution, and if they don't, the biggest nightmare of RRQ, Dreams, shall continue to shut the RRQ dream of making it to playoffs.
We're already seeing tears in the audience. A lot of emotions are happening. You can even hear it from the crowds. And honestly, producer, I cannot hear a single word you're saying. By the way, because of how crazy the crowd is. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen, 1-0. There's definitely still an opportunity for RRQ to come back. But what went wrong for RRQ? Was it the drafts? Was it the gameplay? What happened?
It almost seems like everything went wrong for RRQ in that game. The draft, I feel like if you get, it's so risky. I think that's the word. If everything goes well, there is a chance that that draft can do well. But the odds of that happening are just so low. For now, let's focus on the MVP, the player of the game. It's the Nightmare, Dreams, presented by our official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 series. On the Tigreal, just knowing that everyone's so clumped up, so close together. With the Minotaur band, goes for almost the next best thing. The great instant implosion. Also just denying any playmaking potential when there's no PuriFi in the hands of RRQ. Here are the player of the game highlights by our official gold partner Ube as Gold. This first fight alone just looked catastrophic for RRQ. They were decisive going in together, which is a good sign, but afterwards, every single attempt is read out, is countered again and again, and even with the card control potential, even with the early burst damage AoE, the best they can do is a 1-for-1 trade, which gets punished even further.
And the decision for RRQ not to have any PuriFis. What was the plan here? Did they expect to be so far ahead in the early game that they wouldn't need the PuriFi? Was their plan to bait out the implosion from Dreams? What was the plan for RRQ? Aside from obviously pickoffs, but that didn't go well.
Not at all. Even there, when the Iron Hook Flicker was used to bring Annabelle all the way back to the Crystal, it doesn't matter. It was a last-ditch effort here from Ferrisic to try and save the game, but against the implosion, it's just too much. I really felt like maybe that was it, Mirko. They want to try and get so ahead that they don't need to be worried about the damage. But again, this is a game plan that is just so risky with such a shallow, margin of error here. The slightest bit of things going south for RRQ means that Evos take full control and there's no counterplay. So, to answer your question, Eterna, I feel like, yes, there was a chance that some of it could have worked out, but those chances were astronomically low.
Talking about astronomically low, 0 turrets, 0 lords for RRQ, 1 turtle. Only a single neutral objective take by RRQ. Flashbacks to the highlights. It felt like RRQ had a vision. They were like, okay, let's go in with the Iron Hook, and then we go for the pickoff, which is like a normal way to approach it. It failed the first time because of the counter engage. It failed the second time, and then the third, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. It seems like they kept doing the same thing over and over again, looking for a different outcome, but it never came.
So you're saying it's insanity?
Exactly. I would have utilized, I would have thought that maybe they wanted...
Go on, this export goal,
Remind me, getting onto something there.
No, but I agree with you, Eterna. It just seems very one-dimensional.
From the gameplay.
From the gameplay and the draft, because honestly, here, what was... I'm actually still struggling to see how they could have made that work if their main target was getting ahead in the early game through fights. I think in the gameplay, if they actually went through their lanes, played through their lanes, it would have been a different story. But the fact that they contest the first neutral objective against a Barat's Export, Vexana, and, the man himself, the RRQ Nightmare Dreams, on the Tigreal, it just felt really weird. I really don't see how they could have won that first neutral objective battle, with no PuriFis especially.
I mean, to make things worse, I think initially, before the first neutral objective, the plan was for RRQ Hoshi to really get ahead, to really get space around the map from the pickoffs. But every single time they were setting up a trap, it was always matched by Evos, so it was always denied up till that turtle spawned. And even if you notice, when they were setting up for that turtle, Vin moved forward level 3.
Yeah.
He wasn't level 4 yet. So even if he was able to be there first and land an Iron Hook, there is no ultimate, there is no bloody hunt to really secure the kill. So everything just went really opposite from plan for RRQ, if you can say that.
Yeah. I would have thought that you could utilize the hook to bait. Because then it becomes like a natural reaction, right?
Yeah.
Iron Hook, implosion. Iron Hook, implosion. Iron Hook, implosion, don't commit, and then don't get baited by the implosion. You know what? I don't... What do I know? What do I know? But anyway, it looks like... Ooh, something's going on the stage with Unicorn and Mongstar, so we'll take to that first.
Dan di sini ternyata ada dari ganteng-ganteng serigala mengaung-aung di sini. Halo, halo, Bang Ricky Harun, ini mau ngajarin jadi ganteng-ganteng macan.
Ini serigala datang ke kandang macan, namanya.
Waduh, selamat datang.
Selamat datang juga, Bude. Pak D-nya mana? Pak D-nya mana?
Prit, tapi kalau di sini dia diajakin sama
Diajakin
Bang Ajil,
sama
kan?
teman-teman semua sama
Diajakin
Mas.
dari tim EVOS juga ngajakin
Iya,
ke
itu
Ricky.
nggak sengaja ya, gara-gara waktu live TikTok kemarin ditanyain apa EVOS atau apa ya waktu itu tanding sama siapa gitu, terus gue bilang EVOS, tiba-tiba di DM sama bapak.
Wow, langsung diajakin ya. Bisa EVOS atau Rocky, kok bisa milih EVOS?
Gak tau, feeling gue tuh EVOS aja tahun ini.
Meraung-raung.
Tahun ini EVOS akan playoff.
Tahun ini akan play off.
Amin, amin ya Allah, amin, amin,
Amin.
ya Rabbal Alamin, amin.
Langsung happy. Ini
Amin.
kamu di industrimu kamu rasukin semuanya dengan jiwa EVOS? Atau
Enggak.
gimana?
Sebenarnya juga nggak pernah satu project bareng sama Kak Ricky karena seniorku ini.
Iya, udah tua dong gue.
Sepuh kalau di sini bilangnya.
Enggak dong.
Sepuh nih
Di
udah
sini
serigala.
sepuh.
Saya waktu dia serigala saya masih juggling main bola.
Jauh jadi ya. Tapi ngelihat dari EVOS dan juga RRQ bermain, gimana vibes-nya? Ini baru kali pertama dong
ini
berarti?
pertama kali gue nonton di venue ya, terus pertama kali nonton langsung derby gitu kan. Wah, ini ibarat Barcelona dan Real Madrid gitu kan. Nah, sesuai prediksi gue, EVOS di match pertandingan pertama menang, terus prediksi gue emang Dreams yang MVP ternyata benar.
Wow.
Jago
Bentar,
nebak.
dia jago ya?
Ya.
Kalau jago nebak, jago main juga nggak?
Ya tentu saja enggak.
Pantes. Waduh, tapi ranknya udah lumayan kan?
Rank aku apa ya?
Legend kan? Udah legend. Live-nya sambil main, role-nya apa deh role-nya?
Semuanya.
All roll.
Ya karena kita kan bukan tim ya, jadi kita main semuanya.
Serba bisa.
Kebanyakan mainnya solo terus sih.
Wow.
Kadang solo, kadang Jogja, kadang...
Enggak, bukan
begitu.
bukan kota Mas. Maksudnya yang dimaksud role-nya. Mainnya
Jakarta.
bareng sama teman apa solo?
Terima kasih ya.
Siap.
Iya.
Terima
Saya lurusin
kasih.
kok.
Nanti lurusin ya,
Iya, iya,
bantuin
iya,
ya. Ini sepertinya nih ya. Tapi seru banget pastinya. Kalau vibes-nya gimana? Pertama kali nonton, terus ada EVOS Vibes, ada RRQ Kingdom juga.
Vibes-nya di luar prediksi ya, karena yang deg-degan nggak tahu pemainnya apa kita, tapi kayak lebih deg-degan kita gitu kan. Kayak ngelihat ya pertandingan lah, sepertandingan apa, tapi deg-degannya tuh parah gitu. Terus kalau menang kayak seneng banget gitu.
Wih, tadi sampai teriak-teriak nggak?
Teriak gitu.
Teriaknya apa? Wrong.
Aduh sakit gitu.
Loh.
Keinjek soalnya.
Keinjek ternyata ya. Ternyata keinjek.
Nggak, wow, kita teriak-teriak tadi di sini.
Wah, dengan yel-yelnya, dengan segala
Iya.
macamnya. Terus kalau di sini ya, kamu, Mas Ajil, ngajarin sesuatu nggak? Mungkin
Apa?
kasih tahu dibisikin, nanti gini ya. Ada
Wah,
nggak?
kan karena Kak Ricky juga udah main Mobile Legends, jadi tahu emang udah ini orang mereka lagi pada mengarah kemana, objektifnya apa dulu di menit segini. Udah tahu.
Tapi tadi di
jadinya.
depan diajarin sih sama Evos Farm.
Yel-yel.
Evos, wow gitu.
Ya harus ngeror nanti.
Udah
Harus keror.
banyak orang yang menantikan gue wow gitu.
Boleh
Karena
nggak sih
serigala.
sekarang?
Boleh gak?
Boleh nggak sih? Bunda langsung minta nih. Serigalanya boleh dimunculin nggak sih sebelum ini macannya muncul?
Oke, kita berdua ya.
Enggak,
berdua.
Gue udah sering Kak.
Oke.
Gue udah sering.
Evos, wow.
Oke.
Wah, meraung-raung
Kok gue malu ya?
keren loh, keren
Kayaknya
banget.
besok gue gak datang lagi deh.
Datang atuh. Di sini menarik banget pastinya karena sudah diraungin. Akankah meraung? Semuanya udah gak sabar untuk melihat EVOS meraung dan juga RRQ untuk melakukan apa yang bisa mereka lakukan di game kedua. Kita akan saksikan kelanjutan dari Derby Classic EVOS Glory dan juga RRQ hosting.
Welcome back from Bude Clara. It's nice to see you.
Very nice to see you.
Welcome back. For those of you who just joined, by the way, if you guys missed it, in this classic derby leg number 2,
See
we
it up
have
here, the score.
1-0 already in this best of 3 series. There's still a possibility for RQ to come back, but there's also a big possibility for the White Tigers to go 2-0.
It's crazy, right? The fact that EVOS had such of a stomp of a game in game number 1, it's almost like they got so much value out of apps outside of Mobile Legends.
Of course.
What do you mean, of course?
Of course.
You're telling me that they did?
Yeah.
What did they use?
They just needed to scan the QR code down below here.
Oh my god!
Because you guys can actually vote for who you think can win. And you guys can get epic prizes with it.
I don't want epic prizes, I want immortal prizes.
Yeah, you can get all it. Mythic, Immortal, Epic, Legend.
What about MPL prizes?
Oh, there are MPL prizes too.
Oh, so what do I have to do? Scan the QR code, and then I can participate in voting for the champion. There's a gift arena. There's
Yep.
so many things. Up to hundreds of millions of rupiah given away, and also smartphones.
Smartphones. That's the
Smartphones
big
too.
thing.
Wow.
Arashi loves his smartphone.
What else do you love, Rush?
Of course. I also love the community, right? And for GoPay, they're calling out for all the viewers from Surabaya, man. There's like a watch party going on arranged by GoPay. So don't forget to come to Yamaha Land Surabaya on May 11th for MPL Season 18 Mobile.
May 18th.
No, May 11th.
Oh,
Now.
but there's also one on May 18th.
Yeah.
So
because we'll have
11,
multiple.
18.
All right.
And in Jakarta, for those of you who are in... Oh, so it's Surabaya on May 11.
Yup.
Yogyakarta on May 18th.
Yup.
And shout out to those of you guys who are in Jakarta because it'll be on June 8th.
Boom.
So, Surabaya, Yogyakarta, and Jakarta.
Week 8, week 9, and
Coming
playoffs.
for you.
Jokja is going to be at the GNM block. What we're hearing, so don't miss it. Make sure you arrange your timetable, man. Get in line because it's going to be great matches all around, man. We're approaching the end of the season, and all the matches are going to be that much more important. Here's a previous game recap, though. If you look at the damage dealt to Hero, man, I think Clay was the only one who can really claim any kind of trade back. Everyone else, it's just so difficult because they were all gonna be going in so aggressively, diving in through. Whereas for the heroes, if you look at from Evos, they can just stand their ground and just keep throwing out damage again and again. So eventually, RRQ will be the ones who are forced to make a move. And even when they do, we already talked about this again and again, the counters are just ready. It's almost like Evos have their fingers ready on the counter tools as RRQ are moving in.
All right, Arashi. The recap really didn't say anything much about the game because it was just a stop, right? So, solution. What's the solution to game number 2? What do you think? If you were placed in that coaching position, what would
boy.
you say to the players? What would change here in the drafts, in the way they played?
I mean, I think we were talking about this earlier when we had a bit of a break, but I think maybe they were thinking that the Paquito can be a bit of a split push threat, right? And then like it pulls apart the whole team of Evo, so they can't really team fight together. But with their composition so locked in for good team fights, I feel like that's a bit too difficult. I feel like if they really want to have, a strong mid laner, a strong EXP laner that can make plays, that can be dominant, or even a strong gold laner like the Roger, they have to try and play for those lanes and get them ahead. If they just go in the lane it out, and then go for a big team fight, then of course the team fight composition will come out on top. So I feel like if RRQ do get those prio aggressive picks in the lane, they gotta use it. They gotta send people their way, get those lanes snowballing, and try and get something here and dictate the pace against our Evos.
So basically, properly execute the winning condition of the composition of the drafts that were being set. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the drafts now. We'll see what is the plan for both of these teams as we're jumping into the second one, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy. RRQ and Evos have traded positions. Xborg, Angela. We have the Roger banned away. Evos still sticking with the respect onto Skylar. Natan, Harith. Last time it was a Claude, but this time, with the last ban coming through, it's putting them in a bit of a pickle here. What will they let go? Matilda is still open. But Claude is too. But pick your poison.
I mean, even the Loyi and Chip is available to ban away if Evos really wants to go for it. So we haven't seen this in quite a while. Matilda will be the option. So this might devolve into a global showdown between the Loyi and the Chip. First pick for RRQ though, what exactly are they eyeing here? Usually, the pattern we've seen successful so far is that gold lane prio. But that might not be what they want to go. The Skylar's Claude is notorious. I feel like RRQ can do no wrong picking it up right here.
I think it's still incredibly risky though. Sure, Skylar, amazing on the Claude, but it's so risky to go for the Claude first pick. So easily countered as a first pick. But if they can survive or have the Claude open in the second phase or in the first phase here for the second pick, I think it's okay. They can try to go for it, but Yeah, Barats has just been so prio in this new meta, man. I think today Barats might have a 100% win rate, actually. Alter Ego picked it up twice and won. Yesterday as well, we found a lot of success, but instant response, Valentina and the Minotaur.
Preemptively getting the Valentina, denying potentially massive ults. Now with a Minotaur, we've seen a bit of a similar pattern actually. You know, the Minotaur focus kind of situation, but then having a Barats and possibly something that's a bit more mobile, you know, a more mobile, aggressive composition that can render this Minotaur late to the party again and again, and maybe make this pick just not as efficient. So it's still a counter-engage strategy coming from Evos, potentially with both the IMU and the Minion Fury for RRQ. Is it gonna be the Claude? Yeah, it's technically countered by the Minotaur. We'll have to see how it fares.
Terizla to help out in these neutral objective battles, and I think from now RRQ, it's very easy to set their sights on the jungle. Take away the Predrin, take away... Do they want to take away the Alpha? That's the question now from Annabelle.
Oh, you're right. Annabelle still has the option to pick up the Alpha, but KB has a comment here, agree or not, Evos never runs out of talented young junglers, and Annabelle is one of them. So just as we were talking about him, he is actually still 16 at the moment, so he's the youngest in the league for MPL ID Season 13, and he's already showing that much potential. And it's referring to that, so we'll see. We have a Kaja being banned out by Evos. Will RRQ respect ban Annabelle in the second phase?
Even if they want to respect ban Annabelle though, I think they're still going to be a bit stumped. Trying to figure out what exactly does the guy want to play with the hero pool so wide.
Shows you just how concerned they are of Annabelle, this new rising threat in Season 13. That's the counter. That's the usual counter for the Assassins, man, the Barats.
I think they saw the Ling, I think, farming earlier, and they were like, okay, we don't want to deal with that at all. I thought for Evos, they might be targeting a bit more of the roamers. From the looks of it, with the Lo Yi, everything is fine and dandy, but you need something to enable the Lo Yi to do that damage, because on its own, the Lo Yi isn't nearly as flexible, but they go for that Yutong ban. They want to secure a strong laning phase for Fluffy.
We have a comment from a legend though, R7. Whoever wins, they are the best. The most important thing is to never give up. And it looks like RQ aren't giving up. They go for a ban towards the gold lane now. Bruno taken away from Brands, putting him in a position. What are you gonna pick? Claude's been taken. Natan Harith banned out. Nolan for Annabelle. So they're still going for the assassin despite the Barats.
Oh man, a Lo Yi against a Nolan. When I'm on the receiving end of that, I am usually not a happy camper. The Lo Yi is just so vulnerable right here, and we've seen Annabelle perform on this Nolan. He can go for the farming routes, the aggressive, like the team fight route technically, and also for those insane flanks.
Here's the big question, where's the Arlet gonna go? Last pick from RRQ. Is it gonna be Arlet XP? Arlet Roam, Barats XP, Barats Jungle. Last pick is the chip. Whoa, double teleport for RRQ in this game. And Evos, what do they decide to go for? I was thinking actually the Brody, right? Because they already have so much kill pressure, and they've taken away the Terizla and the Minotaur. Two picks that actually do very well against the Brody. Do they want to risk it still, is my question now. Because now there's a bit more CC and there's so much maneuverability on the map. They can look for these ganks constantly to the Brody. Oh, what? It's a counter to the Claude. It's the Leslie.
They want to make sure
risky, though.
technically the Leslie's ult can also open up the map, right?
True. That is a factor. They're just making sure that they have the main tools of RRQ under cover though. Skylar on the Claude, it's a signature pick. He's always found ways to be successful. But now with the Minotaur, with the Leslie, there's so many ways for Evo to shut him down. And if that happens, who from RRQ will be carrying? Who can output the damage in place of Skylar?
From the looks of it though, the lineup rating does favor RRQ. If I'm not mistaken, it favored Evos in the first game. It's a risky pick, Leslie. Very vulnerable. It has its merits in the lane. But long term, we'll see if it works out. It's the debut of Leslie, ladies and gentlemen. And what better way to see a debut pick in the Classics Derby with everything hanging in the balance. Can RRQ come back from this 1-0 deficit? The answer will be found out here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the last.
Can be said for Dream, so a lot of them are putting a lot of attention onto the wave management here, trying to be in the right place at the right time earlier than everyone else.
We do see an adjustment though from Skylar. He's on the Purify, so this time he is respecting the CC coming out from Evos. As we take a little bit into detail of the sub-emblems coming through for both of the teams.
Brand's going with the weapon mastery here. Really shows how confident he is in the lane phase. It might get punished though. That's a lot of damage. And that's only mainly Vin. It can be traded back. That's where RRQ needs to be careful. They've shown that they are prone to overextending before. They have to try and get that under control.
Terrified, Annabelle with the fractures, well, the ignition, just take it down. Clay falling to Annabelle on the Nolan. First blood goes to the Tigers as they look for a fight up top. Skylar with the defensive battle mirror image, just a stun down to Vin, but look at Annabelle who's rotated over. Vin flickers out. And Evos take a big trade early on.
Was that the lethal ignition?
Yeah, that was a lethal ignition. Being procced by Annabelle there. That's the extra bit of damage you don't really see coming, and that's just unfortunate for RRQ, but that is Evos taking the tempo and trying to dictate what happens. RRQ immediately go towards the turtle though. Now it's going to be another big fight, and Vin once again, not level 4, later is Clay.
Detonator's welcome used up, but it's only onto the Rizla. Annabelle in the midst of it all, now able to dash away, but Fair 6 secures it. Dawn gets a kill. Venus Fury onto 3, now 4-man knockup. Fluffy in the midst of it all, now can do anything, taken out.
That's a big win for RRQ. 2-to-1 trade, they get the objective as well. RRQ, they're not going down without a fight.
It's a better adjustment from RRQ here. They fight in these clump-up situations, but they allow Clay the chance to be that main damage output tool. As right now, Dreams,
a shortcut on the Dreams he goes. One last shot should do it. The final slash connecting on the Brands, but they don't commit even further. Snipes from Brands to reveal Vin's position. Clockun hovering over, but Clay's taking that shortcut up top. Annabelle in this bush, read out by Fairsick. For the first time in this series, RRQ lead.
This is interesting, sorry. The audience prediction, 56 to 44%, that's so close. It just shows you how big the fan base of Evos as well, because every time we've seen a team going against RRQ, it's always an exceptional amount. But Evos' fan base is also as big. And it's insane to see that amount of support for both of these teams. But it looks like Evos.
Vin baited into the turret. No shortcut placed down, or did he place it down? It looks like he did. There's some teleports over up top. But remember, for Evos, they are very happy just letting his goal lead build up as long as it doesn't get to a point where it's crazy. Because they have a Leslie, they have that late game insurance.
That's why RRQ are the ones looking for the fights, trying to disrupt Annabelle, but he's been able to farm really, really well, caught up in levels to Fairsick, and even in the lanes. There's not a lot of ways for RRQ to really set up for a gank unless Evos overextends. So I think neutral objectives, in fact, are the only ways for RRQ to force Evos into a big fight, but the Clay and the damage, man, that's the kind of damage that they have to play around.
On to Fluffy they go, even a final slash committed down. Fluffy still able to evade from this initiation. Annabelle with the retribution on to his own purple buff, and that will mean that they will have to concede the second turtle of the game. Implosion, or no, rather diversion up top. Vin as well. Has rotated up top, now a stun down in the shortcut. Annabelle might be caught, stunned up, and taken out. Clockhood unable to react to it now. That's his welcome. Able to catch Dreams in the final slash, taking a killing spree away. Evo's Glory running for the hills.
They're overwhelmed right now. Brands is going to be in trouble, still going to be able to get away. But they're overwhelmed by the accessibility of the map that RRQ currently holds with the Luo Yi as well as the chip. They don't know where to look. They don't know that at every turn, RRQ can be lurking, and they have fallen behind in tempo because of that. A 2,000 gold lead so far as we take a look at their equipment.
It's really just a weird situation having two global teleports on the side of your opponents. Ooh, that's a penalty zone.
And then all into the bottom lane. The Terrify not able to connect on. Goes back in with a vengeance in the final slash, but still will be shut down. Clockhood steals away that final slash, and Vin will not commit to this engagement. Skylar into the bottom lane. He goes, the lane swap.
Small victories for Evo's Glory here, trading it back. Look at the items though. Skylar has the Corrosion Sight, but that's about it. That's valuable utility though. If they do go for short skirmishes, the extra bit of slow can help, especially with Clay trying to land his spells to trigger the passive and get that extra bit of stun from that low Yi. On the other side, Kun already has the Enchanted Talisman though, so beware for which ultimate he will steal away in the middle of these fights that can make or break these small skirmishes.
We have a fun fact and a diversion play though.
That's his welcome onto the Minotaur. Dream stunned up, chain CC'd and taken out. Still able to heal for a bit. Brands, ooh, barely dodging away from the missiles that can pull him back. Brands evades, sacrificing the Minotaur.
So according to the fun fact, this is the second time that Skylar has used Claude in MPL Season 13 with a 100% win rate. Previously, out of the 26 Skylar games, Claude was banned 25 times.
Wow.
So it's still sitting at 100%.
That's respect. That's also Fair6 stealing away the orange buff though, so they are very actively using this mid-game power spike, this mid-game threat where Evos don't know where they are, just go into the jungle and shut down Annabelle as much as possible.
They're changing their plans. They don't want to go for the commitment onto the neutral objective. They were looking to pick onto Skylar instead, but they weren't able to do that.
Diversion play, catches Fluffy with a death is welcome. No Dreams will be able to capitalize with 3-man Minion's Fury. No follow-up, gets brought back, and now the blazing new went to the back line by Skylar! Able to find Brands. An all-out win for RRQ as they push and march forward.
3-4-0 trade. Dreams, Fluffy, and Brands goes down. Their main damage dealer. Skylar gonna look for another one?
Annabelle trying to dodge it away, but Skylar catches him. Jumps back to the battle mirror image.
That's a 4-0 for RRQ.
Just came out of nowhere, and Evos, they're lacking the damage here. Even though Brands has been trying to farm, trying to stay away from all this aggression. He's forced to get involved right there due to the mobility and the surprise factor from RRQ. And when that happens, his damage output right now doesn't compare to Skylar, who already has the Golden Staff and the Demon Hunter Sword.
Penalty zone desperately there. Oh, almost burst it down. Fluffy, the frontliner. Can't take much punishment, not now.
That damage coming in from the Luo Yi is overwhelming, and that's what happens when the Luo Yi gets ahead. And that was kind of maybe what they were looking for in game number 1 that they couldn't achieve. Again, using the diversion play to gain access onto the map. Annabelle caught in a bad position here, still gonna be able to escape. And this is the reason why I didn't really like the Leslie pick. Sure, it has its merits in the lane. It's really good for poke, but they need a finisher, and so far they haven't been able to do that.
3-level diff, by the way, between the gold laners.
Insane.
Because it's not just the laning phase, it's also the movement around the map. Despite the fact that, of course, these teleports are being used, the diversions are used to set up for big plays, sometimes Skylar takes advantage of maybe a failed gank to really go for a far rotation to get even more farm. RRQ right now, with the control that they have, they're farming both jungles, and that is the extra bit of resource that Skylar is getting, that's getting him ahead over the opposition. And you already see, again, the 2 teleports available. We'll spot out Annabelle, but for the most part, Evos, they're just waiting for a trap here.
There's so much space, there's so much access that Evos have. You want to punish Min, they can't even do that.
Nope.
He is forced to use the flicker though.
Wow.
Very, very early. That will be the Lord taken.
For free.
And you immediately have flashbacks to the diversion play into the base. I wonder if you're gonna see it here, considering that RRQ's main engagement right now is the flank, is the fact that they'll show up behind you and you're just not ready for it.
Really want to see the items now and the gold lead that Skylar has built, because this is nasty stuff. Annabelle comes to the Skylar, but he gets bursted down instead. Done! Finds the final slash to execute Annabelle. And EVOS, they are forced back, not just to their tier 2s, but down to their base turrets.
And you're seeing the preemptive itemization, by the way. There's a lot of Twilight armors built up by RRQ. They know exactly what they want to do here. They do not want to allow Brands to play the game. It's a revenge match.
They're capping his damage, and the damage is not even there yet. The Lord is marching in the bottom lane, and they're gonna go for the engage here.
Still so far away. That's the miss sauce, bringing Fluffy back. That's a 3-man penalty zone, but what is it gonna do? Fluffy able to flicker up, but the final slash pulls him back in now. Plays it up for Skylar again off the clock. Oh, my goodness! Clay with the execute! A triple kill picked up to combo it together with the Blazing Duet. Now Brand's going to be in a wave, but it will just be cleared out. Brand's still there. The shortcut portal used up to tank the turret shots. And RRQ are flanking this base turret, trading angles. Fluffy will be spawning back in two. RRQ looking for the end possibly here in the 11th minute of the game, where Brands tries his best to clear it out. But yes, no damage just yet for Brands. EVOS will be able to see another day, but it will be a very bleak day for them.
Prolonging the inevitable here, but they do manage to defend the base. All the inhibitor turrets have been taken out, however. And the lanes are still crashing. RRQ can still push if they want to. 11k gold lead. That lore advantage gave them a 6,000 gold benefit.
They're standing at an 11k gold advantage, so definitely winning out, and they do have strong late game still if they really want to duke it out. I thought they were going to go for the end right there, but no, they're going for a diversion play. Ooh, just a surprise play here to just, you know, it's a bit of a prank to EVOS. It wasn't really a decisive diversion, but now that they've used it there, they've exposed it, so EVOS will be aware of it. But at the same time, now they're also gonna be overthinking. Is there gonna be a diversion inside the wall, outside the map? That is an extra layer of mind games that RRQ are using. As Annabelle, he finished the Sea Halberd there, so that will allow him to do a lot more damage to Versik and Bin. At the same time though, they are just very, very tanky right now. Especially Versik with the Sky Garden helmet, he is a big man.
But can Brands get to a point where his damage is just unwavering? That can turn the game around. Like an Atan moment for Leslie.
I think it's different. Even if Brands does scale and he gets an opportunity to just delete someone, he can possibly delete Skylar, who isn't going for like a win of nature. So he can absolutely get bursted down by that true damage. And Brands is going to be forced to use all that true damage onto the front lines. And after the initial burst, he'll be stuck just waiting around for the cooldown. Whereas for RRQ, they can just keep pummeling through, especially with the front line, especially with the Lo Yi. A prolonged fight is exactly what they want.
Their wave clear isn't that good, right, EVOS? But they have actually managed the waves in a way where only one lane will crash. The other side lanes will be coming down very late. Fluffy now caught in the bad spot. Able to find a penalty zone. Now it's also good. With a final slash thrown away. And a flicker as well. Knocking up Clay. Versik knows that it's welcome to be used up. And Annabelle going to be locked down in the back. Smacked by Vin. Brand still doing some damage. Skylar goes over to Blazing Duet. The turret is still there, but they're not going to go for it just yet. They will be able to end the game, however, as EVO's Glory fail with their composition to shut down the Claude. 1-1 in the Classic Derby.
The Leslie debut does not come to fruition today, ladies and gentlemen, as they have to concede this point and no longer can go for a 2-0 against the Kings of Kings. They will not back down. They will not surrender, forcing a game number 3 in this classical derby.
Great adjustments from RRQ, allowing them to actually make full use of that mid-game, that mid-lane Lo Yi with all the burst potential. And given the 2 global teleportation tools they had, they did a great job just pulling apart EVOS and just going for the kill again and again when the members of the Tigers are isolated. Taking a page out of the Predators' hunting book.
I think Evos are starting to regret perhaps letting that chip go in the drafting phase. They
Letting the
decided
quad
with the
go too.
Matilda, right?
I think both have crazy pressure around the map. One has a teleport, the other has crazy survivability. It's pick your poison at that time, and we are still, by the way, sitting at like a massive advantage on blue side. Blue side has had almost all the wins this week.
Well, it's blue side, but also, is it the Barats, guys? We talked about
telling you.
this. We said there was a pattern. It's still following the same pattern so far. So, logically speaking, I think Evos might be going for first pick next.
Over the Barats as well, though. It's Claude and Loyi, the two picks in the first phase that was amazing for RRQ. And man, we were talking about how Loyi in game number 1 didn't really work out fully, but he was one of the glimpses of brilliance in game 1. And look, with a team to capitalize on the teleportations, what he can do on his main pick, X-main pick.
And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. A lot of people have shut him down, put him down, had said, Clay's washed. His skill cap was a season, 2 seasons ago. There's no more potential left from this kid, and yet he's still able to claim this MVP with that outstanding performance on the Luo Yi. I'm super behind him. I'm really happy for him with this particular title.
I think it's great, despite the fact that he's up against a lot of expectations right here, and with a performance at game number 1, usually on the desk we're just concerned about the mental state, how they're feeling, can they perform at the same level? But as we see in game number 2, this man just shakes it off. Here's the player of the game highlights by our official gold partner, UBS Gold. In the early game, he gets picked off, and it looks like it's gonna be, once again, a backwards game on the back foot for RRQ. But in this fight, though, they just played it really well. Fairsick showing his retribution that's pretty solid for neutral objective takes. And afterwards, they just keep finding the fights that they need to have. And Evos, it seems like they're spacing apart, afraid of being comboed. But as a result, whoever is the first target who gets caught in the middle of that fight will be suffering a lot of damage. And to make things worse, for RRQ, a lot of these spells aren't quick ultimates. They're not on a long cooldown. So even if the fight gets disjointed, gets segmented to several small fights, they can just keep going back and forth, going back at it.
The map access was so gross. I mean, looking at this replay as well, you can see how much space was given to Brands too. So everything just really dominoed together, mended together really well. And eventually, Skylar was already at that point where he was able to carry in these team fights and deal the damage. Because Clay was already so ahead as well. So the finisher was there was poke, it was a really good game for RRQ. 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I thought it would have ended in that 11th point, but it looked like Evos were still able to hold on for just a bit longer.
Seems like RRQ Hoshi are also just very disciplined here, knowing exactly that, of course, they want to win, they want to turn this around, but even when they're snowballing, they want to make sure that there is not a single gap in their gameplay that Evos Glory can possibly try and go for. It's like, you know, the exact opposite from game number 1. Completely one-sided from RRQ, dismantling the whole base, all the turrets, getting all the neutral objective, conceding none to Evos Glory. And we talked about this earlier. Even if Brands was able to complete his 3rd item, by the way, not even his 4th, his 3rd item, there's 2 Twilight Armors already completed on the side of RRQ. Fairsick and Dawn, Outlet and Barats will be just happy to tank that first few shots and let the rest of their teammates just clean up afterwards.
Is this BOD 3rd item?
Yeah, that would have been a BOD 3rd item. It might actually be 2 BODs, knowing how the Leslie works out. But yeah, way too behind in this game, man. I mean, the fact that he was how many levels down? 3 levels down as a gold laner. If you're 3 levels down as a gold laner, you are cooked. You are cooked. That perfectly basically describes it, because if it's an XP laner, you get XP from your minions, you know? The fact that you're 3 levels down in the gold lane means that the enemy gold laner has had that many more waves compared to you, that many more kills / assists as well. And I think we get to see that 13,000 to 7,000.
Fun fact, when
6,000 gold lane.
exactly, fun fact, in game number 1, when RQ lost, the gap in gold was only 1,000. So Skylar was still able to catch up.
Yep. And then this game was 6,000 for
So imagine him given
counter
space.
matchup.
So
by the way.
crazy.
Technically counter matchup, but you have to remember, usually if you're in gold lane and you get stomped, you go in the jungle, you try and find resources somewhere else. If you're Brent in game 2, you're going somewhere else. Out of nowhere, the TPs come in, everyone starts barreling through, and we saw that again and again. He wasn't trying to participate in these fights, he just kept getting pulled into them like collateral damage. And that is the power of the global repositioning tools in the hands of an MPL team. I mean, we said it again and again, but Evos gave RRQ 2.
So I used to have this game that I used to play a lot.
Okay.
And there's like, it's a strategy game,
Okay,
right?
okay. I know of this game.
So there's a cheat that like opens up the map, and then it's like super OP. And I think that's what Evos was feeling. You know,
So with
that's
the
what
ult of
RQ
Leslie,
did.
they wanted to try to open things up
No,
as well.
I mean like the chip and the Luo Yi did it. Like the cheat.
They just felt like they were being seen through, even though they were hiding supposedly where they shouldn't be seen.
Yeah. Map hacks.
Basically,
It's legal
legal
map
map
hacks.
hacks. If they had
Legal.
Novaria, it would have been illegal, almost. Almost. Right? Novaria chip Loyi, but you don't see it.
Novaria Gold Lane?
That would be a loss.
I think you're cooking a bit too much, it turned out.
Okay,
It's
okay.
overcooked.
Let's leave it to the people on the stage. Let's get to that interview before we see the finale of this classical derby. Stay tuned.
Derby klasiknya. Tapi kan kamu adalah penemu meta ciki, pembuat meta ciki. Tapi bukan ciki yang ciki-cikian ya. Ini adalah
Hidup dan kill.
dan kill.
Betul.
Tadi di game kedua hidup dan kill bukan tuh?
Bisa sih, cuman kurang Johnsonnya aja.
Kurang
Kurang
Johnson.
Johnson.
RRQ tadi yang pakai loh.
Iya, RRQ. Loyi, bagus.
Bagus.
Loyi. Ya, istilahnya apa? Cheap.
Chip.
Betul.
Oke, kalau kamu biasa kan Bude sering lihat di konten-kontenmu kayak kamu tuh meta ciki tuh banyak lawan tim-tim MPL.
Betul.
Kamu sudah merasakan gitu ya lawannya tuh tim-tim MPL gimana tuh rasanya?
Kalau di rank awalnya sih
Apa?
panik kalau pertama ketemu, tapi setelah sering banget ketemu jadi kayak ya udah gitu. Cuman tetap seru.
Tetap seru?
Malah seneng karena pasti seru.
Nyari nggak kamu? Aduh, dapat tim MPL dong gitu. Berharap nggak?
Justru berharap.
Waduh, hasilnya gimana setelah ketemu dari tim MPL tuh?
Hasilnya kadang menang, tapi yang sering diupload menang. Kalau kalah enggak.
Bentar, kadang menang yang diupload menang. Terus nggak pernah kalah?
Kadang
Kalah?
kalah. Iya,
Tapi nggak diupload.
tapi nggak diupload.
Oh gitu caranya.
Iya.
Paling berat atau paling berkesan pernah lawan siapa tuh? Paling susah gitu?
Paling berkesan ketemu Onyx,
Heeh.
full Onyx di ranked.
Apa yang terjadi?
Karena Onyxnya kebetulan lagi live jadi ada reaksinya, jadi kayak
Wow.
seru gitu loh.
Oke.
Ada reaksinya. Ketika ditabrak Johnsonnya itu.
Dia dong yang nabrak.
Ini
Kamu berani
Johnsonnya.
melawan nabrak-nabrak tim MPL. Hey,
Berani aja.
waduh. Kamu gak ada takutnya?
Kami kalah menang belakangan.
Oh, yang penting tabrak dulu.
Betul.
Setelah tabrak kamu langsung gemeter nggak? Langsung takut nggak?
Enggak.
Nggak.
Tinggal salahin dia aja nih.
Salahin dia aja. Gimana sih caranya biar bisa langsung kena gitu? Maksudnya langsung kamu Johnsonmu nabrak-nabrakin player MPL. Susah nggak baca pergerakan player MPL?
Lumayan susah sih kalau player MPL.
Apa tuh bedanya sama player-player yang mungkin bukan MPL?
Kalau MPL ya makronya tinggi ya. Kalau player biasa kayak kadang polos aja mainnya.
Jadi kalau di sini kalian melihat kalau game 1, game 2 kalian kan udah ngeliat meta-meta banyak, kalian juga bisa. Gimana sih pertarungan antara RRQ dan juga EVOS?
Di match 2 tadi seru sih karena Bang Skylar pakai Cloudy kan.
Oh, oke.
Walaupun di counter Leslie tetap aja ternyata masih unggul gitu.
Seru karena pik-pikannya Skylar jadi kamu
Betul,
ngeliatnya.
suka.
Apakah kamu kesini mendukung RRQ?
Betul sekali.
Wow, rupanya ya. Budi juga baru lihat dan ternyata dia kesini khusus untuk derby klasik dan dukung RRQ. Kamu juga tahu berbeda?
Sama,
Sen?
sama.
Sama? Kamu dukung RRQ kenapa tuh?
Karena udah suka dari dulu.
Dari dulu?
Tapi nggak dulu banget, dulu.
Dulu tapi nggak banget. Ada yang bisa kamu bisa ngertiin maksudnya?
Bisa,
dia
bisa,
aneh. Dia emang aneh.
Iya ya, emang gitu nggak apa-apa. Nge-live stream sendiri nih. Kalau kamu dukung RRQ kenapa Zen?
Ikutin dia juga sih.
Oh, simpel ya? Simpel sekali jawabannya. Nah, kalau ngelihat sekarang, ini udah 1 sama. Berarti kalian pasti akan ngelihatnya akan 2-1 ya?
Pasti 2-1, yakin ya?
Ya pasti 2-1, udah 1
Ya,
sama 2-1
2-1.
ke RRQ. Karena kalian dukung RRQ.
Nah,
Tapi kalau prediksi, ada hero unik apa nggak nih yang bakal muncul?
hero unik yang bakal muncul, kayaknya nggak ada.
Wow, nggak ada.
Soalnya pada fokus cari menang kan, nggak mungkin juga tiba-tiba pick Johnson gitu kan. Kayaknya nggak.
Buset, enggak. Tapi kalau kamu ngelihat Persik bermain hari ini, gimana kamu sebagai pendukung RRQ? Ngeliat debut Persik nih.
Tadi nggak terlalu fokus ke Versiknya sih, fokus ke Laude-nya aja terus.
Laude-nya
Sama
doang?
Loyi ya.
2 itu?
Tapi bagus lah.
Bagus,
Bagus
keren.
dong.
Tapi gini, kamu kan live streamer, pencipta meta. Sekarang Bude mau kasih kamu tugas buat ngelempar ini ke caster. Jadi silakan, terserah ini anggap aja live streamingmu. Ini lagi
Oke.
nge-live EVOS RRQ, terus caster. Dadah, silakan.
Oke, buat kalian yang belum nonton di MPL, mungkin harus nonton ya, karena seru banget di MPL. Lanjut ke caster aja, let's go.
Oke.
Welcome back to the Classical Derby, ladies and gentlemen, as we're now back to a 1-1. As RRQ were able to force a game number 3 in this best of 3 series. In leg number 1, it was 2-1 to RRQ. So, I'm not referring to anything. I honestly don't know the outcome.
Me neither. I think no one knows, right? I mean, our Arashi.
I mean, look at Mirko's talent prediction. It's just... that's all it was.
Hey man, we've been right for 2 weeks now, but like this match, we can't.
We can't.
I think I might be lagging because I'm not using game
Why?
specs and I don't have the right amount of resources with
Yeah,
my gold.
I think
don't
you
have my
need more
items yet.
gold. I think you need more gold, okay? And the way to get that is
How?
to wait for the coming soon Epic Collaboration Limited Series.
Limited. Is this the one with
Limited.
UBS Gold
Yes.
and MPL ID?
X
That
MPLID, that collab.
That'll be coming very, very soon. May.
Are we going to be seeing it in the playoffs? Because that's what we
We will.
saw last season.
Absolutely.
And so they're gonna have a booth there as well that you guys can check out. But if you can't come to the venue or you're too excited to know more about Ubes Gold, you guys can. All you need to do is check out their channels at Ubes Gold, at ubes.gold, and
Gold.
ubes.lifestyle.
.lifestyle.
And they're also available at ubeslifestyle.com as well as the Ubes Lifestyle e-commerce.
See, you should have just started with that so I didn't lag, Eterna.
Are you feeling better?
A little bit, but you know, it's still coming soon. I'm still kind of laggy myself. This is why I'm not immortal yet in my MLBB games, and I'm pretty sad.
You know what you should be using?
What?
You need a boost.
What boost?
Games Max.
Games
Booster.
Max? Booster?
Exactly. You're lagging, and you're saying you don't get to your preferred rank because of lag? Come on, bro. Get that Games Max booster. Get rid of that lag, dude.
Okay.
That's just holding you back.
For sure.
Prices start from 25K. 25K!
25K?
You can get up to 36 gigabytes of data. What more do you want? What more do you need?
I need love.
That's all I need.
Whoa, you need love?
Sometimes we also need love. Other than,
True.
you know, no lag, we also need love in our life.
So no Wi-Fi, no data. Love, Mobile Legends, no problem.
No, of course still need Mobile Legends.
Of course you do.
What do you mean? So, for those of you, hurry up and buy the package and activate the booster in the Dunia Games app. Don't forget to check that out and find love.
Find love is an odd
Closing statement.
closing statement. But hey, You do you, Eterna. You guys can actually find love in MLBB. We've heard so many stories of people who... Oh! Yo, who's this
Lord.
man?
No way.
Where is he? Where is
Is he actually
Where
here?
is he? He's there.
Is he right there? He's right there.
Is that Mr. Bajon?
Mr. Ong.
Mr. Bajorn Ong?
Ong man.
Wait, he's in Jakarta?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Is MPL Arena in Jakarta?
Oh, don't pull that. I didn't know he was in Jakarta. Was he always in Jakarta?
No, but he just showed up in the arena, Eterna. It's right there. You can see him.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's crazy. He came all this way to watch Evos.
He picked Chip or Lo Yi and just
How do you
showed
know
up.
he's here
An
to watch
RQ.
Evos?
An RQ.
Because he could be here to just watch MPL.
That's true.
Could be a very wild coincidence that it just happened to be the classical derby.
But you know what's not coincidence?
What?
The devices they're using. It's not a coincidence because it's the best device in the world
It's awesome.
for everyone.
Yeah, and this person is...
There were some moments where you saw a big penalty zone comboed by a big Minion Fury. But at the end of the day, I feel like the big issue there was just the lack of damage. Even, you know, if Brands wasn't available, usually Clocken can do something. He had a Vexana in game 1, outputting a lot of damage. In this game, on the Valentina, he was just waiting, trying to steal some spells. But for the most part, with how high pressure RQ is playing, especially around the mid lane, he just wasn't getting the kind of game he needs to really carry his teammates.
I like that you brought that up, the Valentina in game number 2. What spells did he use in the game?
What spells?
Final Slash.
For the most part, Final
Portability,
Slash.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Final slash.
That was it. We didn't get to see the diversions. We didn't get to see the shortcuts. Not even the Detonus Welcome, actually. I don't remember him utilize Detonus Welcome.
Me neither. I think he was just stuck trying and curb this aggression coming from RRQ. And it's crazy to think that with a penalty zone, a DPZ, right? Defensive penalty zone, with a Minion Fury, and with a stolen IMU final slash, Evo still weren't able to really curb the aggression coming in from RRQ the same way they were able to in game 1. So, that begs the question, right? Are they gonna fall back onto that Tigreal? Because it really seems to be a great way to punish just the way RRQ enjoys playing.
All right, then. Now it goes back for both these teams to the draft. How do they utilize these drafts? And for RRQ, I think the big problem is now on them. The big question is now on them. The pressure is on them too, because they will not have the side selection. Evos will get to decide if they want to go for blue side, which is probably going to be blue side, by the way. Blue side, massive advantage so far in Season 13, especially after the patch. This week especially, oh my lord, all matches yesterday was a blue side victory. Today, we've only had one blue side loss.
I like how you understand your notes.
Yes. It doesn't look like I can understand my notes because, you know, the handwriting is bad.
Can you please publish your notes? I want the audience to see it.
Sure.
Call it the natural encryption, but as predicted, Mirko, Evo's first pick banning away the Claude and the Nathan. Really seeing a similar pattern to game number 1.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the drafting phase of game number 3, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy, the final draft of this best of 3 series. And we're going back to game number 1. Claude, Nathan, Valentina banned out. Angela. Okay, so this is the difference. Last time it was a Matilda ban, we have the Export and the Angela. So Evos, if they want, can either go for the Barretts, which has found a lot of success, or pick up something that has been left open, which is the Matilda.
We'll see what they want to go with here. Oh, take it away from Clay. It's just too costly. Clay has other tricks up his sleeve though, so we'll see what options he explores. Matilda though will be available. Barats that we were talking about being a pattern alongside the blue side pick. All available for RRQ to take advantage of.
Barrett's Matilda.
That is a disgusting combo. Barats and Matilda. That's the combo that we usually, it's a myth. It's almost impossible to find Barats and Matilda. Boom. And they get it. RRQ get Barats, Matilda. This is one of the most broken combinations.
Since VYs.
Yeah, shout outs to VYs. Barats, Matilda.
And you have to wonder, is this all planned? Because they banned away the X-Borg already, and that's usually a great tool to really melt down these real tanky frontliners. They want to stomp around with low mobility. No X-Borg to deter the Barats so far. Now for Evos, will the gold lanes come early or will they be saved for later?
Oh man. What do they go for, Ruby? Okay.
Oh boy.
So Annabelle gonna pick up his signature alpha. Essentially, it does play a similar part as the X-Borg, right?
In a way.
Does it?
But you can't
In
kite.
a way.
Because X-Borg kites, yes,
That's
you do.
true.
The shred part makes sense, right? But the kiting part, Alpha is an all-in hero. You go in with the Spear of Alpha and you are in. Unless you have a Matilda, but the Matilda is on the other side. So you want to all in the Barats. Matilda brings the Barats away. Or better yet, Jetson is welcome. Chomp chomp. You can't bring CameraFi on the Alpha. Unless he goes gold, but nah. Novaria pickup as well for RRQ. That's a... Oh, man. This is Barat, Matilda, and Novaria, so they also have an answer to the Loyi.
Can use the ultimate to open up the map, secure those bushes to make sure that there aren't any cheeky plays coming through with the diversion. It's a tough spot now for Evos, but RQ get to start with the bans.
I think it's great that they went for the Novaria as well. Since Evos has shown the Alpha, I'm pretty sure it's going to go in the jungle. We haven't really seen it being flexed around, and it is a signature pick for Annabelle. So in that sense, going for the Novaria, knowing that most likely there won't be an assassin, is a great pick, but they ban away the Franco. They're just that concerned about these lockdown heroes, but the Kaja is still available. And the Kaja is usually what is comboed with the Loyi, so are they going to let that go free? Ban Franco but leave Kaja open? If that happens, that's going to be a weird strategy.
Wait, why do we keep seeing the U-Zombie banned out?
Well, it's really just about dive. I think they're really trying to set up for the backline as well, what Brand is going to pick up, which is probably going to be vulnerable to the Yuzong, but other than that, they're also kind of a composition that wants to clump up with a diversion. Yuzong can survive these ganks with a Black Dragon form, and he can also capitalize in these prolonged duels, prolonged brawls, especially when you clump up.
It can't be the solution unless Evos are banning away the Yuzong because they are worried that Brands will be zoned away from fights. That can be a big problem as well, especially if both Brands and Skylar are competing to try and get the highest damage output in the middle of a fight. That'll be a CC ban though. So again, suppression from Kaja is available. Seems like RRQ are just more concerned getting Dawn in a favorable matchup to try and get a winning lane so that they can use the Barat and Matilda that much more aggressively.
Is Alpha good against Assassins? Or are Assassins better than the Alpha?
The Alpha clears really fast. It really depends on how you want to utilize the Assassin. So I'm trying to think about maybe a possible RQ flex of Barats to go for an Assassin. I think it's unlikely that we see the Assassin here for RQ. It's risky against the Alpha. You can beat a lot of these Assassins. Technically, mobility-wise, the Assassins will have an advantage, but
especially against the Luo Yi, if you want to even out that, map pressure.
Oh boy!
I was thinking something like the Ling, but now we have the carry locked in for RRQ.
That is, in my opinion, a bit risky, a bit scary. Short range against the Ruby, against an Alpha, against a Luo Yi even. A lot of ways for the carry to really get punished. But I guess with the Matilda, Skylar is feeling quite confident here. Probably going to be kiting back in the middle of a fight and then re-engaging afterwards. That's what we usually see from Skylar on the carry, especially with the Matilda in town.
The next two picks, okay.
Whoa.
Carmilla and the Moskov. What are they countering here? Are they anticipating a chip pick? But Matilda, Novaria, and Barats. Let's take a look at the comment here from Aura though. M1 winner back at Evos. I believe in Evos' current performance that they can advance to the playoffs. We'll see the outcome of this classical derby first though, with the last pick coming through for RRQ.
this might just be Evo's just banking fully on being able to win out in the middle of a big team fight. They know that RRQ loves that aggressive style, wants to collide against them. Now they've secured a Paquito as well. That's good leaning potential, but also potentially great flanking. In the middle of a fight though, we've seen that the team with the better AoE, the better combo, the better team fight has come out on top so far. So in that sense, this third game quite favors Evo.
Remember though, if you try to go for the all-in, all Matilda needs to do is guiding win out of there, and you can save one member as well. Only Paquito in the side to try to put some pressure down. Let's see what the lineup rating says.
RRQ.
Says RRQ.
Game number 1, it was Evo's. Game number 2, it was RRQ. And now game number 3, the lineup rating calls for RRQ. But the Kingdom is also calling for a win for RRQ to continue their playoff run. Evo's at number 5 on the standings. They aren't that safe either. Anything can happen. Anything can sway in either way. But either or, ladies and gentlemen, let's see the finale to this classical derby of leg number 2 as we get into the land of Dawn.
Right off the bat, it's gonna be a quantum charge for Skylar, but also for Dawn. So I think they're really trying to bank on this Paquito being a lot more independent, but the clear speed though, that's where you have to keep your attention at, because Annabelle, he loves these fast clearing heroes. Earlier, Fairstick was able to deal with it, but now with a different set of heroes, especially against the low Yi, the team fights are going to be so much more difficult for RRQ to win decisively, and they might get outmaneuvered as well. So this is something that they have to try and keep in mind as they're rotating, as they're looking for the usual plays they would want to have when the low Yi just isn't a factor in the game. Look at the emblems right here. At least for Dawn, it's going to be the Rupture and the Festival of Blood. He wants to be aggressive. Skylar with the tenacity though, not really messing around trying to get a bit more damage or, you know, more value from the items. He just wants to make sure that he can survive and then carry later on in the late game.
Is Brent's losing in the trades?
He is. And carry trading potential is very, very good. Especially with how you're able to just exit trades in a favorable manner. And technically, it's kind of equalized because both of the Moskov and the carry have a bit of a gap closer. Skylar's playing this very, very audaciously. Even with Annabelle in the picture, he just keeps going. So lane-wise, at least, RRQ is doing well so far. Post level 4, though, that's where the real problems will start rolling in for RRQ.
Oh yeah, I just completely realized Vin, Matilda pick, that's a debut for him.
Yep, this season.
Exactly. A lot of people would say that Vin is used to his comfort heroes. That's why we saw the Franco maybe earlier on. But picking up a Matilda, let's see his performance. But oh.
Offender used up. Dawn hesitating there to engage, but will be able to chunk Fluffy as well, forcing the regeneration as both teams now circle around a neutral objective. Will it be Fairstick on this Barats? That's in his welcome, charged up Dreams, just waiting there as the Astral Echo gets popped down as well. Spear of Alpha, and even now with the Moscow Spear of Destruction, able to get Evos a 1,000 gold lead at the start of the game, and the Turtle as well.
1,000 gold lead now for the White Tigers. With that dominance in that particular team fight, that was a really well-timed spear as well from Brands from Down Under.
Down Under. Try and get some value, get an assist maybe, a bit more resources in his pocket. Seems like RRQ are on the back foot. They don't really win out in a proper all-out fight. Against an Alpha and a low Yi, it's to be expected, but we haven't really seen RRQ do well on the back foot. So I think hopefully for a lot of people, they're gonna expect RRQ to do better. But in that lane, man, the carry definitely is a problem. In the team fights though, that's where Brands can really shine with the fact that the Moscow's basic attacks can penetrate through and deal a lot more damage, especially with the Carmilla in the mix as well. So I'm really curious to see how the team fights will play out. Are RRQ gonna really avoid every single one, kite back in and out, or are they just gonna try and just out-execute? Because RRQ is prone to doing crazy things like that.
I want to know the outcome of this lane, honestly. So far, Skylar has yet to be punished. Evo's unable to shut him down, not even once. And I'm wondering what's happening here in the mid lane. These Dreams opening up the map, looking for a play perhaps. Annabelle's already on standby. But they just go for the clear, waiting perhaps for the next neutral objective. Are they trying to punish Skylar now?
Ooh. It looks like it. Diversion play to the bottom lane. Dreams getting the sun down, and the Spear of Alpha as well committed. Despite having no minions, Skylar just purifies out of it. Wow. Evos have utilized a lot of resources there.
They're trying to get some momentum before the neutral objective does spawn. It seems like Skylar already overstepped right there, but Evos were just slightly bit hesitant. They're waiting for him to step up further, knowing that he's an aggressive player. But now, again, this four-man combination in its own right is a great team fighting lineup. So RRQ, are they going to try and go for it again? Do they want to try and maybe harass a bit using the Novaria? That is one of the main advantages they have here.
But remember, Fursic is a level below of Annabelle.
Let's see though, Death is Welcome going to be used up there. No, not yet actually. And it's actually going to be Ben who steals it. Don in the back line, going to be able to find the knocker strike. The Dreams falls. Fluffy in the midst of it all. Now catching Vin. Purify used up into Mathilda, but now gets followed through by Brands. Diversion play. Where is it going to go? And it will just be used to bring the Moskov down under, as Eterna would say.
Yes, back to the bottom to defend this turret. They don't want Skylar to go in for a trade. But either way, the fact that Vin was able to get the neutral objective, that was a big play for RRQ.
Definitely a big plus right there. I think they're just trying to pressure as much as possible, go for a bit of a steal. But if they're able to get it, that's great news for them as Vin, once again, just gets that vision. And Skylar winning out in the lane so far. But Brents does have a kill in his pocket. So I think farm-wise, Skylar is ahead, but they have to try and leverage that lead a bit more.
The Curse of Blood as well, so far, hasn't really been like the craziest ability to have in the game, right? Because last time we saw Dreams on this Carmilla, it was GG every team fight.
And yet this game isn't looking the same way. There is a diversion though.
Dawn?
Oh, does he know?
The flicker, the Spear of Alpha catches him. Able to flicker around, but now they're all in with I'm Offended and the flicker from Fluffy too to catch Dawn up top.
Quick beat, but it looks like 3 members from the side of RQ have rotated towards this top side. Vin gets caught, but Clay's there to back him up.
He's good for now, circling Eagle. Just a scout, Fairsick gets the guiding win.
It looks like Annabelle should be able to get that turret in the top side unless Clay, and of course Fairsick has something to say about it.
Oh.
I think he gets it.
Just weren't fast enough, RRQ, rotating to that side. So the turrets are traded, technically. Now with the turtle spawning though, Evos have a lot more space to work with, and they like that push, but they get exposed. I think that they get spotted.
The red tree as well. Now a possible all-in, but Evos have disengaged very, very well.
Evos have used 3 ultimates right there though, so that is still a bit of a win for RRQ. Can they go in and win the fight right here? Especially with knowing that Grants can join out of nowhere.
No miss on the red tree this time around. Evos secure the second turtle for themselves, 3rd turtle of the game.
And it looks like Fursic is still a level below of Annabelle up until this point. Annabelle has a little bit of an edge. Now Evos gonna use the diversion play once again.
Where's he gonna go?
No.
To the bottom lane. Skylar has to purify. So walks forward. Safe. Reeves right there. Able to find Clay, but it is still an Astral Recalled version of Clay who's in the walls. Done with a flank on the Bronze. One more shot done! Finds it. Not caught in the midst of it all. The guided win not able to save him just yet as Fairsick will try his best to go. No, he uses the Detonus Welcome to escape. The Curse of Blood was on them, and RRQ decides to go back. Diversion play. It's the flank now. Clockwood and Fluffy on the Skylar. No, Purify ready. Now he uses the Purify Skylar. All isolated, and Evo's Glory find a massive flank to punish the Kings of Kings.
They turn it around again and again and again, and now Evos hold the map pressure. They're going to utilize this to get a hold into the mid-side turret. Will they be able to do it?
The RRQ can clear out the waves. See the itemization already. A lot of emphasis on utility. Flash of the Oasis done for Vin. Clay with the Necklace of Durance first item. And so is the same for Clockun with an addition of the Enchanted Talisman. That's what's so pesky about the diversion, man. I think RRQ saw that they were going for a diversion play. They just didn't know where exactly, and that definitely caught them completely off guard. With that momentum, they will be able to take one turret. Still a close game, though. Only one death for Skylar. And if you look at the items earlier, both are still on curve to hit their big item power spikes. Both still sitting on the closing side and a golden staff only, though. Probably waiting for that Demon Hunter sword.
Dreams deciding to go. There's a diversion as well in the back. Dawn reads it well. Reads it very well.
No commitments just yet from Kalakun and Brands. Still going to go for the push as they're trying to set up for the Lord Dance.
Berserk trying to reset it, but Fluffy's actually taking it. Annabelle now taking the aggro, denying the reset over from RRQ, but end up resetting it in the end. 2-level lead for Annabelle.
This is where, ooh, diversion.
Berserk is a small dino. The big guy stacks. Not full for him, but luckily, no capitalization of that flank.
None for now. And Dawn did a great job pushing, though, but now, here we go. Data's welcome.
Forced out, a desperate maneuver. Berserk, 3 melted down, even Brands popping in the spirit of destruction. Clay, where did he go? Fluffy finds a beautiful I'm offender to take him out. Now Dawn, the curse of blood, purified by Vin. RRQ on the back foot, and the spear of Alpha is enough to decimate the Lord.
Skylar does not dare to enter this territory. He doesn't want to lose his life for it. He doesn't want to commit onto it. He decides to retreat, but Vin doesn't.
Burst damage there with a diversion and rotation. Dawn only just disengaging with a knockout strike, and Brands is already starting to hurt. A Spear of Misery. What a tool to disengage too.
Even in that fight earlier, Dawn was denied his approach. Seems like RRQ wants him to be an assassin, going for the backline flank again and again. He's going for the Hunter Strike into a Dominant's eyes, trying to find ways to deal with the 1v1 potential of Brands. But I think the Deloye is the main problem here for RRQ, and even in a full-out fight, the fact that Brands can output the damage a lot more safely compared to Skylar, that's a big factor right now that's just costing RRQ so much more. The big advantage they have, though, is the fact that their gold laner is on the Purify, so if RRQ can find a situation where they can get full value, oh, that diversion, though!
Oh. It keeps you thinking. They don't actually utilize it to execute, but now Berserk gets caught in I'm offending the Spear of Misery as well. Annabelle, Spear of Alpha not connecting in RRQ. Have the resource advantage, but they will not be able to fully commit onto this. They defend though, and no base turrets so far for EVOS.
Not just yet, but the White Tigers still hold a 6,000 gold lead in the 12th minute of the game, and now we get to see how far the items have come along.
The items, core items completed for both Skylar and Brands, but Wind of Nature is now a big advantage for Brands, although Skylar in a 1v1 can deal with that as well. A big factor as well, of course, is Clay with the Lightning Truncheon. He won't have the Enchanted Talisman though, so his spells are not as spammable, but if he does land onto the Lo Yi or the Moskov, that can mean that Evo's fighting potential immediately gets capped. But with the Wind of Nature, Brands can still heal up from the jungle. And look at RRQ's positioning. They're just concerned at every single moment that Evos are setting up for another big play.
Okay. We're getting to a point where both teams might be actually banking on the late game. Who has the better late game? That's the big question now.
I think in a full-on fight, Evos definitely have the better late game. RRQ, they have more mobility and they have more utility, as in looking for vision, as in poke damage. So I think they're the ones that have to play like they're on the back foot, just because if they get forced into a head-on collision, most likely they will lose out in damage output with the spammable nature of the Novaria, with the AoE nature of the Moskov, and of course the Carmilla as well.
So there's still a layer for both of these teams to work with. Just different resources,
Different variations.
tools, variation is the word.
I mean, even right now, Dawn, it seems like he's supposed to be tasked with going for these split pushes, but knowing that the Lo Yi is in the area, look at how he's positioning. He's never passed the halfway mark for the map, but Berserk there, walking in dangerous territory, but he's trying to keep his stacks up. And hopefully for RRQ, Clay can land some of these astral spheres, because that's what they need to really get an edge.
That was a shocker there. Fluffy tried to burn out the Purify from Skylar, but he holds it well. Having the vision, Spear of Alpha though onto Versick now, but the Guiding Wind grants him safety. Spear of Destruction used out already. That's a 4-man Astral Echo. Vin has the Circling Eagle, will decide to go in on it. Now Dawn as well, that's the Retribution secured by Annabelle. Vin trying to bring the Dino back, but he gets deleted. A diversion play to the front again, trying to look for a play pin. Guiding Wind out, Dawn might be caught, has the flicker to get out just barely, and Evo's Glory will mount up another siege on the Kingdom's base.
Capitalized over that particular engage. The fact that they were able to completely zone RRQ out gave them that assurance of the Lord. The only person that fell was Versick. The rest of the members were able to come back. Versick though gonna be up in a few seconds. And they do have the high ground. RRQ still have the Novaria. They still have the clear coming in from Skylar as well. There's clear from Vin too. As it looks like Evos are looking to the... Oh, wait a minute.
Clay gets caught, everybody, with the 4-man Spirit. It's a one-more combo done by the 4-man knockout strike. Able to survive for now, but now gets taken out. Skylar, in the midst of it all, still able to dish out some damage, and Evo's Glory. They've lost Claw Kun for Dawn and Clay. RRQ managing the wave so well. Versick and Vin up top, and in the bottom lane, it's Skylar soloing this Enhanced Lord. Wow, what a sequence of events.
They did it, they defended. The only thing that fell was the inhibitor turret in the bottom side, but that Lord is spawning on the bottom side too.
There's still an advantage that RRQ can't try and take advantage of, but Evos will be very careful going for fights next time around. Here's a replay presented by our official tournament smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy S24 series. Starts with Clay being targeted, but just like that, the follow-up coming in. The AOE coming in from the Barats and the Paquito. It's a lot of damage, but unfortunately, everyone got so low, and Skylar was just so short range that they can't really capitalize. But look at that damage. That's that late game Novaria. That's gonna be a problem for Evos to try and handle the longer the game goes on, and he's getting more and more accurate as this game prolongs.
It's a big problem now. It seems like Evos are unable to end the diversion play though.
Oh boy, a risky one. But now Clay gonna be caught, still able to flicker that. Skylar with an Angel already used up, but look at the Spear of Alpha in the back with a Cursed Blood too! Skylar and Versick are down!
2 members taken out. Only 3 members of the Kingdom are left standing. Vin, Dawn, Clay. Can they defend? There's no minions in the bottom side, but there is one marching in this middle side. They're gonna defend with their dying breaths.
Oh, forcing with an Angel, but now gets caught in the Spear of Alpha, still able to flicker out with the Guiding Wind. But Fluffy jumps it forward, not able to find much. Minion waves in the mid lane, still ready. Brad is gonna go for the target now, but now we'll have to miss some step back again.
Skylar for a second.
Gonna clear out the way, but the base will be taken out. The Kingdom's ruins shall be the foundation to Evos' glory.
One team, one voice, one family, Evo's Glory. Taking the 31st